Brandon Overton was given a gift in the second race for the Southern All-Star Super Series by Garrett Smith. Smith got impatient during the main feature race, tried to getting around some lap cars instead of riding around them, given the track had rubbered up and turned into a one-groove racetrack. Instead, he tried to force the issue going up high in turns 3 and 4. That gave Overton the opportunity that he needed. He took it, stayed on the bottom, and easily passed Garrett Smith, who would also try and do the same thing a little bit later on, and he would lose a spot to Hayden Cowan and fall back to third. He would eventually be able to get back around Cowan during a late race restart, but he had nothing for Brandon Overton, who easily pulled away in 2 late race restarts with less than 10 laps to go and took home the checkered flag. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at John Trent Racing. Before we get into the main feature, which for all intents and purposes was kind of a snooze fest, I thought it could have been a little bit interesting given the fact that there was an opportunity to really kind of work turns 1 and 2 and maybe work that high side a little bit and then come back down to the bottom in 3 and 4. As Brandon Overton was able to do that earlier on in the race, but we didn't really see anyone be successful at that towards the end of the race, and it really was just a one-groove track, and it was whether or not you were going to make a mistake, and that is indeed what Garrett Smith did. But the heat races were a very different animal altogether. They were extremely exciting, lots of action and drama as well. In the first heat race, you can see here, they're 3 wide right here, so let's take a look here. And just this really fun racing here. These guys just giving it their all. You see Brandon Overton right there. Slide job, huge run out there. He's not able to finish it off. Moving around, and I mean the track was really racy. You can see that high line was working really good. You got guys working all over the track. Tar Heel Tiger down there, Ray Cook working the bottom. So you can see there was pretty good racing in that first. I think this was the first heat race here with Overton, and then crazy drama happened here. Overton had taken the lead ahead of Hayden Cowan in the heat race. He's coming to the last lap, and you'll see here he boom right there, flat left rear tire, is able to nurse it home. Cowan would get around him on the outside, and Overton would finish in second with that left rear going flat, which would be key that he didn't fall back further in the field, because it allowed him to start at the front of the pack and really be able to position himself for taking that win and capitalizing on Garrett Smith's mistake. It wasn't just that first heat race. Second heat race was just as action-packed as well. This one was probably even better than the first one. These guys were really going at it here. Let's take a look. You can see this is with Garrett Smith there in that blue number 10, fending him off. You got Will Harrington right in there. 3 wide, Clay Knight going, really running it. I mean, really fun, exciting racing in these heat races. They all were kind of putting on a show except for the last one where it was kind of just... I forget who it was, took the lead, but they kind of ran away with it and wasn't really a lot of racing in that one. You can see here just how good the racing was. Will Harrington, towards the end, I guess we're in the middle of the heat race here, really trying to hunt down Garrett Smith, giving it all that he had here. Let's take a look. I mean, they're really working that top side, too, in these heat races. The top side was in at that point. Obviously, by the feature, it went away. But you can see Harrington is trying to do the slide job there. He just doesn't have enough there, and they would do this for a number of laps, but it was really exciting racing, seeing them duke it out, and Garrett Smith was able to hold off Will Harrington in that second heat race. In the third heat race, we had I think this is Ross Bales. Ross Bales was putting on an absolute show here in this number 6 car. We'll see here. Let's take a look here at what happens. Yeah, so he gets spun out here. This is the third heat race. He would be sent. He tries to keep it going. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to get sent to the rear. And in the next restart right here, he starts on like the outside of the third row, and he just lightnings through the entire field here. Let's take a look. So he obviously was not happy. Put a fire under him there. You can see him on the right of your screen. He's off the screen now. Gets a huge run coming down out of turn 2. stays through the middle of the track, just boosts through the middle of the track there, passes 2 cars in turn 4, and really just kind of takes it to them. But you can see here the racing was absolutely exciting. Huge run, has to check up there and really work around the track. But it was really fun racing in that third heat race. Some of the best super late model racing you're going to see happened in these heat races here. They were really exciting. And then the B main, we had some action here as well. This is not something you want to see happen. We have, I believe it was, let me check the name here real quick. I believe it was Joe Denby. Yeah, it's Joe Denby. Let me get back to where we were at here. I think it's this one here. Yeah, Joe Denby. You'll see him on the right of your screen coming in here a little bit. He gets up in the very high, above the cushion, I guess, in turns 3 and 4, gets sucked into the wall and goes for a ride, spins over. So let's take a look here. So right there, you see him clip the wall, flip over, and then collects that other car. I believe that was Joe Denby. He would actually go to a backup car and take a provisional and start the A feature, but he was A-okay. But a nasty, nasty wreck, huge collision there with his right rear hitting the outside wall, and then completely lost control and flips the car. So that was the big drama in the B main. And then here is some more B main action as well. Let's take a look here. I think they're fighting for second here. Slay gets into, I forget, I'm not sure who that is, but takes him out, spins him around, and so it's a little bit of action right there with the spin out racing for second in the B main. And then here's where we get to the A main here. So it's a 50 lap feature, about halfway through. Again, track had really rubbered up, one lane groove right here. And Garrett Smith would make a costly mistake trying to get around the lap traffic that was ahead of him, going to the outside in turn 3 and 4. It's hard to see, but Garrett Smith is right here in the blue number 10 car right here. And then I think Overton is a little bit right around in here. So let's take a look here, and you'll see how he makes this mistake, and Overton's able to slip by him. So there goes Overton. Actually, I think this is Overton going into second here. So Hayden Cowan gets stuck behind the lap cars. Overton goes into second there. So that's how he gets around Hayden Cowan. And they work around the outside there. So working around the outside there for Garrett Smith actually worked. And that's how Overton moved into second with the track rubbering up. But this is here. So we tried to do it again, and he just really wasn't able to do that. I think he's going up against, I think this guy's name is Gay here. He's former Southern All-Stars champion last year, and he just had a much faster car than those other lap cars, and he wasn't really able to get around them. He tries to go to the outside here in turns 3 and 4, and Overton takes advantage of it. So let's take a look here. So he's trying to work around Gay there. You can just see how slick the track is. Drifts way up, is not able to keep his momentum, and then Overton kind of just works around him, and he just doesn't have the horsepower coming out of turn 1 and 2 to really do anything. And Overton would hold on to the lead the rest of the way to the end of the race. And so that is indeed what happened. Here is the here's how Garrett Smith tries to get around Overton with about 7 laps to go, and he would lose that second spot to Cowan here because he tries to go on the outside again in 3 and 4. So let's take a look. So he just tries to go into that middle groove, slides up. There's just no grip there. And he just, Cowan just kind of takes it to him. He, again, like I said earlier, Garrett Smith would get back around Cowan. There would be a late race caution, and he would muscle his way through on the inside, but he just didn't have enough for Brandon Overton. He kind of just gave it away, got a little bit impatient there, trying to go to the outside of those lap cars, and should have just rode around behind them, as Brandon Overton would do for a number of laps before some cautions would come out and would obviously re-rack the field. But Brandon Overton given a gift by Garrett Smith because I think he was impatient trying to work around those lap cars. Obviously a young driver mistake. I think he will learn from that. I'm sure Scott Bloomquist will give him some advice. He was in the booth calling the race and was very critical of Garrett Smith in the booth, and noted that he would be providing him some feedback after the race. So he'll learn from that. and hopefully won't make that mistake again. Obviously, Brandon Overton says, "Thank you very much. I will take home that checkered flag." But that is what happened in the second race of the Southern All-Star Super Series. For the official finishing order, we have it right here on their website. Brandon Overton finished first. Garrett Smith second. Hayden Cowan was third. Peyton Freeman finished fourth. Will Harrington fifth. Ross Bales sixth. Ray Cook was seventh. Dalton Cook eighth. Carson Ferguson ninth. I think he was your hard charger, moving up 8 positions to finish in that ninth spot. Brent Dixon finished 10th. Clay Knight was 11th. Benji Hicks 12th. David McCoy 13th. Jamie Oliver 14th. Trent Ivy finished in 15th. Matt Costner was in 16th. Caleb Gay in 17th. Ryan Wilson in 18th. Billy Franklin 19th. Kendall Franklin 20th. Billy Boy Jr. 21st. Pearson Williams had a mechanical issue, had to drop out, fell back 18 spots. He was running in 4th when he had that mechanical issue. Had to settle for a 22nd place finish. Not what he was looking for last night. Chase Oliver in 23rd. Todd Brennan in 24th. Bo Slay 25th. And Joe Denby rounded out your field in 26th. So that is what happened with the Southern All-Star Super Series in their second race. Definitely think Garrett Smith should have been a little bit more patient, not try to force the issue there on those lappers, just kind of rode around behind them, kept distance, and protected the bottom. And I think he would have come away with the checkered, but he got impatient, tried to get around them, and Brandon Overton took advantage of it and made that pass on the inside and did not look back and took home the checkered flag. Again, hopefully Garrett Smith learns from that and does not make that mistake moving forward. But very exciting action in the heat races. Obviously, the feature race was kind of the choo-choo train. Not what we were expecting, especially from the previous night where we got some really great, fantastic racing. But obviously, there's lots of cars racing in the Southern All-Star Super Series, and we've got a lot of competition, so should be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we get some better track prep and better track performance, so we don't see those tracks rubber up and turn it into a one-lane track. Really, really hard to watch those races as a fan. But those are my thoughts on what happened for the Southern All-Star Super Series race at Screven for night 2. Let me know what you guys thought of the race in the comments below.